Okay, so the party is leaving the creepy castle. Abbott is severely not only wounded but nearly dead due to constitution drain. And as we left off, I rolled a random encounter. And we're getting a little further away from the castle, and all of a sudden there's this noise, and the party looks back. And we see flying towards us what looks like a big winged shape. I'm using the gargoyle that we fought that last session, and it starts to come, and the group says, "Everybody get ready! That we're still in danger." And they knock. Nora knocks her bow, and they start. You protect Abbott, and as they're getting ready for this, something changes in their view. The darkness of this shape becomes bright and colorful. And at that moment, they hear this soothing voice, like collectively, all of them hear this soothing voice in their minds saying, "Do not worry, I'm here to help." And they see this colorful being flying down. I can help you escape this vile, evil place. She comes down. It is a coatl, and she comes over to Abbott, who's got the con drain, and she wraps her wings around him and gives him like this big winged hug, so he's completely covered, but he knows innately to trust her. It's just this soothing presence. And when she opens her wings up, he's like completely healed of his, not his hit points, but his constitution drain. So the sickness is gone. And he's like, "Oh my gosh, how did you do that?" And she explains, "Who are you?" She explains, "My name is Prisma." She's a coatl. She says, "I've been watching you, and I'm not the only one. He knows you're here. This place is far too dangerous for you now. You've got to get away from here." She says, "I have the power to heal, but we've got to get away before they spot us." So the group is gonna try to get back to the shore where their canoe is, and I think I think their canoe is there, and their cart is then on the other side. What I'm gonna do is roll another random encounter check as they're getting away, because Prisma would have been here. Oh, by the way, I just to explain that. So I got real excited at the end of the last session. I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is perfect," because when I read what the koala was, initially I was thinking it was a dangerous creature, but it's lawful, and it has the ability to, in place of attacks, touch one creature to remove a curse or affliction. So to me, that's like the perfect solution to what's going on with Abbott. She says, "Maybe next time try to stay away from vampires for a while." He's like, "Yeah, son of a bitch, they keep draining me. Is there any way to avoid that?" "There's actually a very simple way. Don't get bit." So let's see. So we're gonna try and get out of here. So anyway, I was like, "Oh, and it also can change shape." So just to, you know, show you the man behind the curtain type of thing, I was thinking, "Oh man, like, so she's got to be in disguise around here, well, close to the tower, because they're watching, or close to the castle, and so that's why she took the form of an evil, of a gargoyle, until she needed to change and show her true form to the group." So anyway, we're gonna say, I I don't want to make this likely. So we're just gonna do this as a regular encounter, a one. One on a d6 means there's another encounter before we get to the shore and to the canoe. 3. Okay, so we're safe. I just didn't think it should be a freebie, basically, because we are trying to escape and there is tension. So we get back to the shore, get to our canoe. I don't want to fight with the leeches or whatever. That we've already done that. There would be more leeches, but I'm just gonna say, that she sees us basically out of this hex and says, farewell, be safe. Perhaps we'll meet again in the future. Maybe it's just kind of a guardian angel for our group or something. Pretty cool. This is one of those moments where generating things randomly in solo play can have this like cool magical type. It just felt perfect when it all came together after that completely random roll for what we meet next in this, on a random encounter. So anyway, what I don't know is what the heck we're going to do from here. So we're going to get the group back together. Prisma's going to take off. We got our horse and cart, our donkey and cart, and we've got to get back to somewhere. Let's go, let's try and get to Makuza. So let's go 3, 4, 1, 3. We'll roll our random encounter there. 5, no random encounter. We've pretty much cleared this hex anyway. This is where there was a treasure chest kind of out in the open. Not out in the open, it was in a cave, but we totally did that. Let's see. Check every 3 hours. We're on horseback, so I actually think we can cruise through this hex. To 3, 4, 1, 2. Random encounter check. No random encounter here. Good. And now we're kind of in a safe place. We also pretty much cleared that sucker. Is it 3, 5, 1, 2 is Makuza? Yeah. So now we can go. Now we've already been to these places, so we don't need to navigate with Nura. And then we get to Makuza, right? So basically, that would be 3 hexes. We'd be at a spot where we can rest, and Abbott would regain all his hit points on a rest. Before we rest, let's do a random encounter check at the town, which is something I'm trying to remember to do from now on. So on a 1 to 3, we have some sort of town encounter. We do have one. I kind of know what this probably should be. So let's see what happens. Makuza. I don't know if I have a map for Makuza. Doesn't really matter. I don't want to get too into it yet. Maybe we're at the bar in Makuza, right? I don't think this is what we use, but whatever. They're outside. Our group's in here. We're getting to town. It would be late, probably late at night, and we're looking at getting a spot at the inn and probably settling down with a drink so Abbott can get all healed up. And somebody yells and points at us from across. I think it's Orgo. I'm going back several sessions here. Points at Orgo and says, "There, him! He's got it! I saw him!" And it's a woman. Better check. It might have been Thain. Alrighty, so I went ahead and found minis since I had to. This is going to be our the woman pointing, and it is Thain actually. I had that wrong. She says, "There he is. He's got it. I saw him take it." And she's got guards here, and they come over here and they stop Thain and say, "We need to search your belongings." And he's like, "What's this about? We've got word that you have stolen property. A nobleman had been missing an ivory statue." And he says, I don't have an ivory statue. And they search him, and sure enough, he does. I don't remember if I even explained this in the session, but several sessions back when we were in Makuza, this goes back to why I was like, I know I need to go back to Makuza. This is what it was. Someone had planted a stolen item on Thain, a stolen ivory statuette. And so he's being set up, basically. He doesn't know it. I don't remember, like I said, if I explained what happened or just made a note of it, but it's coming back to play. So he is going to say, we haven't even been here in a while, and I think the only thing I can do here that makes sense is go, I think we would try to talk our way out of it, and they don't have any proof, but I do have the item on me, and hasn't noticed that it was even in his pack or whatever, which probably isn't realistic because it's been weeks now. I think probably game time, but whatever. I just had to circle back to this. So I'm going to give him a chance to sweet talk his way out of it. Should I role play through this? Maybe a little bit, but solo play, I like to lean on the character's ability scores and do ability checks, essentially. Whereas in group play, that's not encouraged so much in Shadowdark, but I think it makes a lot of sense in solo play where I'm playing by myself. So anyway, I'm going to give him a pretty hard check, though. He's got to get a 15, and I actually think he's got a negative to his charisma. Yeah, -1 charisma. So he's got to roll a 16, I think, to talk his way out of this. 5. Not even close. So they're going to say, he's going to offer to hand it over because he doesn't care. It's not his. He's not trying to steal it. And the others in the group are going to take note of her and like, what is she doing here? What is going on? Like, who is this person accusing us? Would we recognize her? Perhaps not. We probably, you know what, let's do that. Let's do a check on that. Would anybody in our group actually recognize her we've been to Makuza several times, and she was obviously in there close enough. So would anybody recognize, just going with a straight check. 10, a twist. Oh, twist. I'm going to bust out, I'm going to bust out a mythic for the twist, which I haven't used this whole campaign. But mythic has a table for twists. Twist, random event. For random events, I think. Yeah, so I'm going to roll a D100 percentile dice and see what the heck happens. 100. NPC positive. Okay. NPC positive. So that's not necessarily someone in our group. So does that mean it would be good? Would it be good for the burglar lady? So let's roll the prompts. I will go back to Solodark for the prompts. Just to stay consistent on Solodark. Here we go. We have 55 and 005. Oh man, I was thinking that was good. It says deliver. I'm like, okay, deliver. She can now deliver the, whatever, the statuette or the news to whoever's paying her or whatever. But then it says deliver trust. So she gains trust in someone, or the other way, the flip is invite vice. I don't quite know what that means. Deliver trust. So I feel like this is bad for us and good for the NPC, which I think in this case has to be her. Deliver trust, I think, means that the guards are trusting her. What are we gonna do here? I kind of feel like the guards would try to take Thain away. I don't feel like Thain would fight it, but I personally kind of want to have this be rather than have Thain go to jail and figure that whole thing out, I kind of want to be like, all right, well, let's have a quick fight with these soldiers and then we're on the run. So I'm a little tempted to do that. I don't think Thain would do that. So they're going to say, you've got to come with me. That's what we'll do. The guards are going to say, you've got to come with me. You've got to go see authorities. And Thain will say, it's okay, guys. Stand back. I'm innocent. The right thing will happen here. I'll be proven innocent. And this will all be settled in a day or two. Or whatever. I just noticed some kind of bad news here. Abbott is not actually healed yet. So Thain's going to go. Thain goes with the guards. They take him to the prison, I guess. And what we are going to do is watch her. So I think we're going to feign like we're not really watching her, and Marvin is going to sneak off. So let's do that. I don't know what the heck's happening here. Taking a total tangent. But the guards take Thain. The rest of my party is going to, secure a spot at the inn, maybe grab a drink, and Marvin is going to follow her. How do we do that? Let's say we're watching. We're not chasing her, but just Marvin is chasing her, but we're chasing Marvin so that we can stay in sight. So I think what we're going to do is do a competing stealth check between Marvin and the burglar. They also both would get advantage here, which is kind of weird. That's a lot of dice to roll for this. But let's do it. She's a burglar. I don't have stats for her yet, but I'm going to give her a +2. That's a standard, especially if she's important. We don't know yet. So she's got a +2 to hers, and Marvin's a +4. And she's got a 16, and Marvin's only got a 12. So she is able to slink away. Okay, that's not what I thought was going to happen here. So we lose track of her. I probably should figure out who she is, because I think at this point we need to deal with her, track her down, see what develops here. We also got to get Thain out. So I think Marvin's going to come back and say, I lost her. I don't know what happened. She's sneaky. So I do think she's probably more than just a, level 1 burglar or whatever. The only other thing I can think of here is Nura would have some tracking ability, but I think that would be difficult, especially given... Well, let's do this. We had a 16. No, Marvin will come back, grab Nura, and she's probably long gone-ish, but I'll give Nura a tracking to beat the 16 stealth. And she gets advantage, I believe, on tracking, and I can't remember if she has a bonus, probably a +1. So she's, nope, gone. Spotless. So they don't know what the heck happened. They don't know why they're set up. They don't know anything. So on that note, I think we're just going to crash and sleep. And get a night at the inn and try to help Thain in the morning. Does that make any sense? Would they be like, no, you can't take our buddy? I think Abbott and Orgo would be like that. But I feel like we just have to do the right thing here. Maybe we have it. Okay. All right, so let's do that. So we're going to sleep and deal with the rest the next day. This is a little different. This is a twist. This is hard for me to come up with on the fly, I guess is what I'm saying. Because it's not just, okay, here's combat, let's do combat. Okay, let's roll on a random encounter chart. I actually have to use like my creative DM brain here to try to figure out how to play this out. So I think what we're going to do is try, first things first, I think we're going to try to infiltrate and sneak Thain out. So let's go. I don't want to complicate this unnecessarily. I also don't know if I want to try and switch the map and everything. I'm going to say we go to the, prison or whatever. We speak to the proper people and we try to learn more about what's going to happen to Thain. Let's just do is he going to be held until a trial? Maybe? Let's just do that on a 50-50. A high would be yes. Yes, he's being held until he can go on some sort of trial. Well, not what I want, but that's okay. So, on that note, we're going to leave, or at least feign leaving, and Marvin again is going to try and do his sneaky stuff. And he's going to try to get to where Thain actually is. And so I'm going to theater of the mind this a little bit, I think. Well, you know what? Actually, I can find a cool map, I bet. Alright, so let's see how this plays out. I'll use this as the, prison, and this is like, I don't know, big, open space. I was going to say lobby. Lobby doesn't make sense. But we're going to be just kind of hanging out here, most of the group. Trying to be all nonchalant, not raise suspicions. Thain's over here in prison. Turns out I had a bunch of these little guards that I used, so placed a couple guards. I think what we'll do is have Marvin we're going to wait for our opportunity that these two guards are guarding like the entrance to the spot. And I think what I do is have Marvin try to wait for a time that they're not paying attention and try to sneak by in there. And Abbott's going to be nearby too. This is a trick. This is tricky. So we'll have Marvin roll a stealth check. He's pretty good. I'll make it a 15. They're supposed to be watching. 20. Nat 20. Okay. So Nat 20 means, I know exactly what that means. We get so lucky. These two, like, I don't know, maybe the guy's flirting. Maybe the guy's trying to hit on her and she's either going for it, and so they kind of abandon their post a little bit and aren't paying any attention. And not only is Marvin able to sneak by, but Abbott's able to go with him. So as I kind of wanted the two of them in there. This is too big, so it's not going to be, so it's just going to be kind of an empty space. It's not one of the cells. So they're going to park here for a second and wait and see what happens with that guard. What I need is a way to... Oh, I know. Shit. I know. I know what's going to happen. Nope. Can't do it. Shit. I was going to say Boomerang Sap, but that's Thain's and he's in jail. Damn it. So we're just going to roll another one, I think. I got to distract these two somehow. Let's have Alfonso do that. Let's have Alfonso try to distract this guard by, calling him over, saying a prisoner just escaped or something like that. Because I think they'd be least. I think he's the least likely to draw attention as part of our group. Is why I'm saying that. I don't know. I'm just winging it here. So Alfonso needs to do a charisma check, and he's got nothing. He's got no bonuses to anything. So it's just an even charisma check. But also, I would say this is a normal. I don't think this would be super hard to try to distract a generic guard. So I'm going to make it a 12. 9. So it doesn't work. And it's not a negative, or not a nat 1, so it just kind of fails. So he just tells him to scram, get out of here, whatever, yada yada. What do we do about these two guards? I know what I can do, but I'm going to have Abbott stay here, and Marvin is going to make his move. And Abbott is going to tell Marvin what to do. I feel like I should make some rolls here, but I like this plan, so oh, shoot. I know what's going to happen. Okay, so Marvin's going to sneak again. Marvin's going to try to... He'd be really hard to sneak by here. So I'm going to make it an 18. That's really hard, but he's done it before. Where's his other dice? Oh, well. 18. No, it's right here. Right in front of my eyes. 18. Got it. Okay, so he sneaks by at least to this point. They're distracted, I guess. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And he's able to at least get in here and... Psst, psst, Thain. Remember, you have we have a Ghost Walk blessing we got way back. So I wrote it down on my little treasure thing. This is the time to use it. It means he can turn incorporeal, and Marvin tells him to escape out the back of the cell through the wall, which I think would just go to the city, right? So Thain's going to use a Ghost Walk to escape. At this point, I think I'll roll another hide check for Marvin. But I think let's do it. I'm going to roll another hide check for Marvin because there's still two guards right here. He gets it. Wow. Okay. 17 plus 4. So he's able to sneak by, still just waiting his appropriate turn. I feel like they would catch him. I almost wanted them to catch him. But I made the rolls, so I guess we're home free. Are we home free? Abbott's still got to get out. Oh, I know. These guys maybe came back to their post. So now we got to sneak behind them. So here we go. Let's keep it up. So Now Marvin is coming, and Abbott's going to follow behind him. Marvin's going to try and sneak. They're waiting for the right opportunity. We got out of this hallway. So we're trying to sneak by these two here. All right, here's Marvin. 13 plus 4 is a 17. So he doesn't make it. So at this point, how do I do this? Marvin is going to turn invisible to get out, and Abbott just has, so maybe they make it right to where they're just about clear. And Marvin's going to turn invisible and book it. And when they turn here, Abbott has his cool night cloak armor. So he gets a free stealth check that's a success. But I feel like he would have to find a, like, can he just hide on the other side of this post? I don't know. I was going to give him that to get through, but that doesn't really make any sense. So I'm going to say he gets a free check, but can he find something to hide behind? I'm going to go... Shit. 50-50. High is yes. Twist again. What's our twist this time? Oh, God. How do we do a twist? Let's check. Twist, something unexpected, roll a prompt to determine its nature. Yeah, see, I kind of like the twist better on the mythic, where it gives you something, a direction where that happens, and then you still roll the prompts. So let's roll prompts and see if this tells me anything. We have 28, 42. Expand. It says expand, balance, or agree friend. Agree friend. That does tell me something. Expand, balance doesn't. Agree friend means that Abbott is going to be able to talk his way out of this, or buy his way out of it. They spot him, but he's coming out, not going in. So he's coming out of the place. They're going to be like, hey, what are you doing in here? And he's like, oh, sorry, I was just looking for the bathroom. and you guys were looking away, and I guess I walked down the wrong hallway. So he's just going to be able to talk his way out of it. That makes sense to me. Agree friend. Great. So they're good with that. They say, okay, don't come back this way. Stay over here and you're safe. All right. So we're good. We're out of here. We're out of here. That feels somehow anticlimactic, but I also feel like I did everything fine. I made it difficult. We had to make lots of checks. I guess the easiest part was that Thain went. I let Thain go out that way instead of coming in this way. So we've got to get around to Thain, but I think we're good. But I do think we need to book it and leave town. So let's call it there. I think that's a good, regular length session. I feel like this was not my best session, a little bit of a slow pace, but it also was had a different vibe, because I had to, like I said, I had to put on my creative DM brain to come up with stuff, and I didn't I talked through it the whole time, so rather than pausing. And so somebody on the forums said, I wish I could come up with the name off the top of my head, said they kind of liked watching my videos and hearing the parts where they can relate, because you're thinking out loud of how do you interpret these roles and the next thing. So maybe that was somewhat useful to someone. And also, I'm playing solo, so I can do whatever the heck I want at my own pace. I'm doing it on video, so I'm putting it out there for people to see. So in that sense, I feel a little bit of pressure to do things quicker and come up with, do things the right way and things like that. Whereas if I wasn't doing this on video, all of that works just fine solo. I'm figuring out how do we. He's here. We got to get over there, make some checks. Um, Probably should have seen if somebody fell asleep or something, but that's cliche. And I didn't have a sleep spell. I was thinking of all the different things we have in our past. I was looking over, our treasures and trying to find something. Nura, a couple sessions ago, we had a chance to pick up those flowers that put you to sleep, but she failed her herbalism roll. So I was like, that'd have been a cool herb to have to put into her repertoire. Um, but okay, so we used our Ghost Walk blessing. That's out of there. That was a boon we got somehow way back when. I don't even remember when, but I wrote it down so I remembered we had it. And it was a get out of jail free card, literally. But now, do we need to avoid Makuza? I don't know that that's 100% what we need to do. We did return the stolen goods. We probably need to deal with this thief. So maybe that's what we do. Maybe we need to book it from Makuza before long, but maybe our next session I will go after the burglar and try to see what's up there. And I don't know what's up because I think that just came out of the core book on one of the D100 charts. A burglar plants a statue on a PC. So I don't know. I have to kind of make that up, but I do think that's a potential lead to a story. Why did they plant it? We've now returned it, but we didn't clear our name. At this point, they are. Oh, I have an idea. Okay. At this point, Thain is guilty so far as we know. Alrighty. Thanks for watching. I'm Bradu. I'm playing Shadowdark, Terra Invictus. And this is going to be episode 60 something. I'm at like 65 or something. I've got a few left that I can still upload, which is why I don't know exactly what number I'm at. I've uploaded 61, but I've got a few more to upload still. So if anybody ever gets this far, besides my one loyal viewer, congratulations. That's a lot of that's a lot of time invested into this. So that'd be awesome to find out that somebody watches. All right, later.